Yep. So hello everyone. It's my pleasure today to have this session, one of the session for Inspiring the Mind project that is organized by our colleagues, Solco. And today I have a great pleasure to have Stefano Rimini, who is a senior policy advisor with more than 15 years of experience in inequality and social policy and policy making. He also president of an NGO called Benita. And he has a big role to advise organizations like UNICEF, European Parliament, European Committee. As an activist person and a founder for non-profit organization, Stefano actually fight against social and environmental or for social and environmental justice, try to build and bridge social and environmental issue, focusing on social and environmental issue, promote evidence-based decision making. And I think today talk is very, very interesting, which is linking these inequality and social policy to the open science and the scientific dissemination. So I think this is, we still on our journey of this, try to bridge the gap within society for this inclusivity and diversity. And today we are covering this gap from another angle, which is open science, scientific dissemination, and citizen engagement. So it's my pleasure, Stefan, to be here, and please, the floor is for you.
Okay, Tamer, thank you very much, and thank you very much also for the invitation and compliments for your project, Inspiring the Minds. And so today I prepared a presentation on open science, scientific dissemination, and citizen engagement. Thank you also for the presentation. Yeah, I'm such a policy expert, so actually I deal usually with poverty and measure against children's poverty, in particular with UNICEF. But since 3 years almost, I'm also president of an NGO organization called Pianeta, based in Italy, and Climate Pact ambassador also for the European Commission. So actually, I'm not an expert in the environmental issue, but I could say in some way I see the link between the social challenges and environmental challenges, and they will be also at the center of the core of my presentation. So I think I prepared a presentation of about half an hour, more or less 40 minutes, and I will use the slides if it's okay for you. Just don't hesitate but to ask me questions also during the presentation, so on, to interrupt me, so don't worry. So I start with sharing my presentation. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes, if you can make it in presentation mode.
Yeah. Just.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, just a brief introduction on open science, and on the main presentation I will share with you. So the first part of this presentation comes from in particular from a shared presentation I had with a philosopher of science, Professor Sabina Leonelli, that is also an advisor of our organization, and we had together a presentation in particular at the University of Tromsø in November. And so she's an expert on open science. This presentation comes from a shared work, so I will in some way take her part in this introduction. What about open science? We as Pianeta are part of this broad movement aimed at making scientific research and its outputs more accessible, transparent, and reproducible for the global community. We believe in the same various principles and practices and policies designed to promote collaboration, knowledge sharing, and inclusivity across different disciplines. So, at its core, open science, as you probably know, is characterized by open access, open data, open source, open collaboration, as making research publication freely available to anyone, eliminating paywalls and subscription barriers, and also encouraging the sharing of research data in reusable formats to facilitate verification, replication, and further studies, promoting openly shared research, software, methodologies, and tools, open collaborations like encouraging interdisciplinary cross-border partnership and the removal of barriers to participation in research, but also other characteristics as open peer review, open educational resources, and in particular citizen science. That is the core of our work as Pianeta. So we believe in all that principle of open science, but in particular we as a no-profit organization are committed in involving the public in scientific research, participatory data collection, and problem-solving efforts that are our core business I would say. And so other characteristic of open science, more specific in this historical period. I mean, open science is technology oriented, so the dependence on emerging digital and computational tools enhancing online accessibility. I think in particular on ICTs and artificial intelligence. Then a big challenge and a characteristic of open science is intellectual property frameworks. So defining acceptable ownership and exchange models, or the absence thereof. So open access debates, data sharing policies. I think in Europe, all the debate on the GDPR and the privacy policy, and now also on the artificial intelligence measure of the European Commission. So third, the ethical and value foundations, so guiding principles that shape research, integrity, and outcomes, in particular transparency and accountability. And then also collaborative methodologies, so the structures and process enabling cooperation and knowledge dissemination, scientific standard and governance, so criteria that legitimize knowledge production within the scientific community, and global policy and regulation, so international framework influencing cross-border scientific collaboration. These are the principal characteristics of open science in terms of scientific knowledge, and the values, the rules, the principle, the collaborative methodologies, and I've started from here because our organization as Pianeta really believes on open access, transparency, open data, open science as one of the main value in terms of acting at growth in the society. So this is one of our pillar engagement of the people. So this is why open science matters. In different terms, it increases accessibility and make research available to a wider audience. It enhances reproducibility, so allows others to verify and build upon existing research, fosters innovation, so speed up scientific progress by removing silos and restrictive access to knowledge, strengthen trust, so improves credibility and public engagement with science through transparency, and promotes equity, so enables participation from researchers in under-resourced institutions and countries. We think openness must be a sharing resources, and research elements should be universally available at any time for everyone. So it's important to have unlimited access to research knowledge. This openness must be driven by digital transformation, so a modern phenomenon entirely reliant on ICTs. Inherently beneficial. We assume to enhance both scientific content and researchers' working conditions, globally inclusive, so ensures that anyone interested in research can access it regardless of location, and promoting equity. Expands access to previously restricted research, enabling broader participation in research production and consumption. So these are always part of the values and the principle of open science. But we have also the challenge. So we see a world that is changing and is challenging also the open science movement. So promoting transparency and accessibility in research and innovation is not so easy, you know, and maybe often the open science movement is also criticized for its ties to extractive knowledge system, where industries capitalize on publicly funded research. And the challenge comes also to perceived link with diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, so leading to stigma in certain academic and political circles. And the challenges comes also from other issue, like the geopolitical tension, the corporate ownership dominance, so private entities increasingly control research tools and outputs amplified by artificial intelligence, but also the failure of the cosmopolitan idea. The global aspirations of open science are not always realized, and unequal and fragmented research environment, but also hyper-reliance on a fragile digital system and unsustainable data ecosystem, and a certain rule for pluralism and epistemic diversity. We have an idea of how to exchange knowledge and exchange informations, data from one side. From the other side, we see the world is changing in another direction with all this geopolitical tension, with all the increasing of poverty and also of conflicts and the digital inequality, for example, that undermine the possibility to give to open science more space in the public debate, more space in the creation of public policies and the production of public policies. But yeah, we believe in open science for an open society. So openness of scientific knowledge is a fundamental value in Western science and representative democracy. So the strength of our democracy is really connected to the possibility of open science to still be a pillar of our public policies. So the right to reliable evidence for decision making. This is Sabina Leonelli, as I told you, our advisor, and she's professor at the Technische Universität of München, and the blurred boundaries between open science, open government, and open innovation. So data flows across these domains are crucial, particularly in public health research. And so just last thing about open science, and then I will come to the core of my presentation. So the engagement and the Pianeta, our organization part in this movement. So open science is also sharing and engagement. So it's a question of open also the participatory process of the academia, of the researcher, for some important reason about responsible use of resources, about critical and constructive scrutiny of digital platforms supporting research, fostering long-term relationship that sustain scientific research, but also ensuring equity in research production and consumption. So uh, the participation of citizen, the participation of different actors like civil society organization, like politicians, like all the system, the civil society organization system is very important in sharing the data, in sharing knowledge for the open science movement. And so we are in 2025, and the framework you probably know is quite challenging for all of us in terms, for example, of environmental crisis, deeply intertwined to social crisis. We are in the eve of wars and debate on commercial wars also. And in terms of environmental crisis, we see water shortages, land use and agricultural production, urban design, labor policies, decline of medical services, technology and artificial intelligence. We see all these elements very connected one with each other, and we also but see that there far too little awareness of this interdependence and the related research, especially among youth and vulnerable population. And so we have this big question as Pianeta organization: what role for research facing institution and public services? And so the answer is open science is not enough. So sharing information does not work in and by itself. See climate policy wars. Democratic deficit and the representation in tension with misinformation and disinformation. It's not enough to share information if there is a big misinformation on social media, on media in general, and engagement on social media and related tech has huge influence on public discourse and policy, often fueled by emotions and social crisis and bubbles. So it's very crucial at this point of view, to engage citizens, communities, and policymakers in ongoing evidence-based debate and reappropriate AI and social digital spaces towards adequate informations and emotive engagement. So tools, infrastructure, and library services could play a crucial role. For example, the academia also, and the researcher, but also the civil society organization. And here we are arriving on our experience of Pianeta in these terms, but there's a strong foundation in open science research, in engagement of citizen and a different organization in building divulgation, dissemination, and exchange of knowledge. For example, long tradition in social studies and of science and technology in co-production. The ways in which we know and represent the world are inseparable from the ways in which we choose to live in. And also some different concept like environmental intelligence. So technologies developed in full awareness of their interdependence with the natural world and the severe limits in human understanding of such interdependence, and thus of possible effects of technological change on the planet as a whole, particularly under conditions of a climate emergency and growing social inequities. And I think I will pass to this slide. Is so that is our experience in helping and supporting the mission of open science and scientific dissemination through civic engagement, through citizen engagement. Who are we? So we are a movement based in northern Italy, in Emilia-Romagna region, dedicated to making Earth a better place for everyone who calls it home. And so we have we are an organization driven by an ambition goal, build a community actively engaged in enhancing our planet. So a network of people working in different professional sectors, based not in Modena, in Emilia-Romagna, but also in Bologna, in Roma, in other cities, and also abroad. And we do local projects as you, but we try to have a global vision with concrete actions, independent, impartial, and politically non-aligned. We do events, workshops, social and cultural events, and activism for environmental and political causes. So we aim to inspire and involve all those who want to play a part in building a better world. And we have this big mission to inspire the minds and to inspire change, to activate people and ideas, and to improve the system we are all part of. And our values, in particular, the protection of the environment, the rights and inclusivity, justice and participation. And as you know, participation is very important for this new way, we think, to arrive to a co-production in the public policies. And I will present a local case, a local engagement case we experimented here in Emilia-Romagna, Pianeta on water politics. And so this is the local case connected to citizen engagement, but also to scientific dissemination and open science. So we are kind of mediating organization. In Emilia-Romagna, as you maybe know, we had big flooding in 2023 in our region, but also poor drought, and we are also one of the region in Italy with more extending the land consumption. And for all this reason, we wanted to experiment citizen engagement, um, promoting and showcasing debate among policymakers, academics, third sector, youth representative, and NGOs. So that was the idea, and we managed in some way. I will show you next our projects, and we have had also impact in terms of politics. So we had in the local election, our volunteers were candidates and committed to social environmental causes inside the uh, political arena, local arena. Um, so I already explained you why water, but just to focus on more the causes we choose this topic. As I told you, we had the flood in 2023 with causing 15 deaths and the displacement of more than 35,000 people, with an estimated damage of almost 9 billion euro. But also in 2022, we had the Po drought, that the largest river in Italy that passes through our region, suffering from drought in 2022, with the average river flow 30% lower than the second worst. And such an event can occur on average once every 600 years. And yeah, the last data I told you, according to ISPRA, Superior Institute for Environmental Protection and Research, Emilia-Romagna is the first region in Italy for cementing and consumption in alluvial areas. And also this has a big impact of for environmental challenges. So we, for this reason, we as Pianeta were committing in 3 different actions connected to water. First of all, a participatory project for the redevelopment of a lake, a little known in the city, in Modena, including the protection of local fauna and the rediscovery of nature. So we are still doing events, workshop activities with citizens to make them discover the importance of the lake, and inviting them to have their say on how they would like to transform the area. Then we have a day dedicated to water, because Modena, our city, is was a city of water, even if the sea is very far from my city. We are situated in the Padana Plain and about 100 kilometers from the Adriatic Sea, but until 100 years ago, Modena was a city full of canals and rivers that could also be navigated and reached in animal species no longer present. And then we had a big event with a documentary raising awareness on the issue of intensing fishing farms with their social and environmental impacts through the projection of director Francesco De Agustini's documentary called Until the End of the World. That is very interesting. So this is a more specific topic on that day we dedicated to water, and We have an historic work tracing the historic Naviglio, Modena's primary ancient canal, linking the city to the Adriatic Sea. And the same day, we have a children's market, recycling workshop, visit to a photo exhibition, and awareness guide work. And so we have a big impact that day, big organization of event, and it was a good way to put together uh, the scientific knowledge and the historical knowledge of the water system in Modena with the engagement of people, families, children, and the different public also in the city. Also, for example, was the participatory path to regenerating a lake, with also workshop and citizen involvement through legal serious play methodology, and attention to biodiversity, social inclusion, and different events also, like a party, and to raise awareness of the lake and so on. And this the documentary, and then the debate between expert politicians and climate activists on the impact of yeah of yeah, of the use of the water in our ecosystem. So some pictures of our very participated events, as you can see, in different location. And so we are almost finished. Just last three slides. Other two example of this connection between open science, scientific dissemination, and citizen engagement, that comes from also my professional experience. So international networks at the service of local debates. First of all, the UNICEF Youth Policy Advice, so European Youth Advisory Board, that is very interesting form of participation of children and adolescents. We created this national council of children and adolescents coming from 20 regions, the 20 Italian regions, and we involved also children's and adolescents with vulnerability, like children with migration background, children and with disability, and so on. And so also in that experience, we could reframe relevant expertise. So youth input at the center, facilitated by policy experts, psychologists, UNICEF officials, to give government, the national government of Italy, advice on how to invest on children. And so that was the first step to build a new policy measure dedicated to adolescents. So the children's and adolescents aggregation centers, that were a big measure for the government, that was financed with 2,050 million euro for 60 centers in Italy. I think that the Cooperativa Il Solco know very well this project, because one of the center will be in Catania, and has just been financed by the Minister of Labor and Social Policy in Sicily, and also in Catania. And this was a very good example on how we can build a strict connection between citizen participation, in this case, young and adolescent participation, the academia and the politics. This was a good example, not easy, but we managed to take these 20 boys and girls in front to the Minister of Labor and just to speak directly, facilitated by expert by us, but directly with the politics. So the second and the last example outside Pianeta is the Climate Pact Ambassador Network. I'm part of this network of Climate Pact ambassadors in Europe and also in Italy. I will be in Brussels just tomorrow to the annual event of the Climate Pact Ambassador of the European Commissions in Brussels. And so this is also a very good example on how local action and citizen engagement can push the open science, the scientific dissemination to a broader public, you know. And so European Green Deal at local level in that system push the local and national institutions to approve mitigation and climate adaptation plans with events, advocacy, public opinion. So we are doing this work together at local and national level to approve these plans at national level in particular, reframing also in that sense relevant expertise, so involving associations, political parties, citizens in the elaboration of local climate plans. And this is, for me, another good example on how the network between the academia, the scientific community, the library, the university library can be connected with the NGOs, the third sector, and but also the business sector. So all together, like in exchange of experience. And having more impact to the general public. So last slide, it's a kind of resume of all this presentation. So and at the center, you can see the transdisciplinary co-production. So a new way, a new form, a new mechanism and strategy and consultation to product public policies, you know, research, activism, also art and policy together in a new form of production of public policies, where this triangle you can see climate and social policies, environmental intelligence, and public participation. That means from one side, environmental intelligence with scientific evidence, social studies of science and technology, responsible and sustainable artificial intelligence, social and environmental impact. On the other side, the local, transnational organization, industrial investments, national investments, and national and international policies, and then public participation. So the experiences I have shown you with youth involvement, ambassador programs, citizen assemblies and engagement, experience and expertise of relevant publics. So all this all together want to be a new way to design public policy, and I think it's very important to be connected between the academia and the civil society. This is so the abstract of the work you can also find online, and that's it. It's already 35 minutes I'm speaking. I hope you could enjoy, and just okay, I finish here, and then I'm available for questions and dialogue with you.
Thank you very much, Stefano. I think this is very enriched presentation. I can see there is a lot of synergy between what we are doing and what you doing in general. Like, for example, you presented this triangular, which is a core of our objective, like in inspiring the mind, we are using this triangular as well. Link, maybe here you are linking researcher with policy and activism. We are linking business to society and researcher. So we use the same triangular as well. Also, you mentioned co-production. Actually, this is one of our major objective in inspiring the mind is not to co-product knowledge and policy, but to co-product courses and education material based on the need of society and stakeholder. So actually, this is one of our major goal when we start to create a new course, new education material, we should bring stakeholder on board. Uh, how we should frame this course within the focusing of or the need of the different stakeholder. So I think the lecture is very great. It brings a lot of things. I myself have like some questions. Uh, but maybe I can start with Dr. Khulud from Egypt. She sent me a message, private message, and she has a question for you regarding the open science things. She has a concern about open science because open science, someone need to pay, right? So in the previous model, in the subscription model, the person who pay is the reader. In open science, the author pay to the publisher in order to publish their paper. She has two concerns, and she would like to highlight this and discuss, or you can present your point of view. First of all, when you change the focus from the reader and as a publisher, so my customer now, as I am publisher, my customer now actually is the author. So we can see a major trend that now the impact of the publication is not high because any paper can pass if you can pay for it. So the quality is, she argue, like, maybe open science is again is a good quality, high quality. The second thing for this open science things and the open publication, the fees is a bit high for low income country or middle income country. So how you can see this 2 point?
Okay. So just to understand if I got you the question, so the problem of the reader is the increasing price of the publications, right?
For the authors.
For the author, sorry,
For
for
the
the
author,
author.
yes. Especially when you are speaking about low income country, like here, majority of your European country, I think, if you are work at European university, the university support your publication. But
Yeah,
when you are going to Africa or India or this low income country, there is no support. So the author need to spend his salary, which is almost
yeah,
nothing,
exactly,
for publication.
exactly.
So I personally, I see this is something like, there is no inclusion here. Like, people who or researcher who has money, they can publish. Researcher who has no money can publish.
Ah, okay, okay. Mm-mm. So actually, yeah, for this question, I could also, because as I told you, I'm not a specific expert on open science, and maybe I can also ask Sabina Leonelli to have an opinion. Then I will send you in some way the answer. So in my opinion. I think that fostering international partnership is very important, Also from this point of view, because building bridges in terms of exchange of knowledge, but also of resources. I know actually, yeah, I don't know very well this problem, but I can imagine a bit the difficulty in low-income countries in have access to the possibility to uh, to public their work and first of all can be an activity of advocacy for the national cultural institutions to be more proactive in give resources on this kind of activity. Then also, as I told you, the building international network and be part of international projects like this one, for example, can be one of the support in publication. Yeah, I can understand a bit the thing. Then I don't know. We as open access movement, one of the battle is exactly this
Mm,
one. So give the access and the possibility to give open access to all the researcher that want to exchange their knowledge and their research and to the public. So yeah, that's it.
and I completely agree with you. No, this is a very good movement, this open access. And so far, actually, yesterday I got a request from a colleague of mine who asking for a paper that is published 20 years ago, but it's under a paywall, so you need to pay in order to get it. And he was struggling for a week until he just contacted me to send him this paper, which our library at university bought it for us. So I think this open access things is a big game changer. I think because all the knowledge actually it's something as you highlighted. It's created by society and it should be for society. So
Yeah,
I completely agree with that. Actually, I have a question regarding the public engagement.
yeah.
Uh, I can see from the photos that you presented in end of your presentation that you succeeded to bring a lot of people to your events. How you succeed to do so? Because I think it's not easy to engage public.
Yeah, exactly. So this is our first expertise as I
Yeah.
can in our organization. So uh, we use, for example, good social media. We also use yeah, data, and for example, we decided to have some activities. For example, work a party or an event on some particular theme because we had a questionnaire. We launched a questionnaire to lots of young people
Mm,
to understand what they wanted to do. So it's a kind of co-design. And to do this, we to have the answer for the questionnaire, it was not so easy.
mm,
But also we offer, for example, um, a concert. We offer a concert for young people in exchange of their answer to the questionnaire. So
mm,
if you come to the concert with the compilated questionnaire, you have the free entrance, you know. And so
mm,
we did this with the data and the questionnaire compilated. We could analyze our target and know our target better and understand what kind of activities they wanted to do. And
yeah,
that was a good example on how to start our activity in our association. And then local projects and it's not so easy. We had also some activities with few participants, but in general, so this is our specialization, I can say, so involving people. And yeah.
mm. And do you think this involved mechanism can work for all the countries? Like the model that you use in Italy can be applied in Norway, for example, or in another setting?
uh, Yeah, it's for example, we did the same in Roma, in other cities, in
Mm.
Bologna, but we always need someone
From the city, from
leaving
the
the place,
okay.
knowing the place, knowing the territory to co-design with us. So we have a kind
Ah,
of, we can give tools, we can give advices, we can give like the tools, but then we need the knowledge and the experience of who lives the territory, who lives this neighbor, and know the problems of the neighbor, know the people of the neighbor. So, for example, be in a network with the local association is very important, and be part, of the context, because every context is different from another one. And so, but we can be of support. We can give advice, give our experience, and we are doing it in Italy. So first of all, in Italy, and
mm.
yeah,
I think this is a good thing because actually we are struggling here to some extent because some of our research project is related to climate change, related to biodiversity restoration, things like this, and we need to build on the knowledge of society. So we try to make some citizen engagement, try to bring people into the discussion, um, but there is something missing. So I think the mechanisms that you are suggesting, like um, over something in return, like free ticket to enter concert or maybe food or something like this, will be nice to engage people.
yeah, yeah. We have different methodologies also. For example, with Lego serious play, with Lego,
Yeah.
we did laboratories in the schools, also using sports, so involving people with sports or with
Mm,
guided walks, and it's very interesting also. And yeah, I'm available, to deepen it if it's useful.
of
Our
course. Yeah.
system, yeah. Also we are part of this citizen assemblies movement in Italy. So we are involved in one citizen assembly in Bologna that is functioning uh, as process of engaging people in the public debate, giving then recommendation to the local authorities for different actions like climate policies or social policies. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is great, and it would be great, as you said, like we can come back to you, like if we need like some help or so.
Yeah, sure, for
So this
sure.
will be great, yeah.
I'm completely
Because
available.
I can see you have like deep experience here in this citizen engagement, and I think we need to like in within this open engagement and open science, we need to learn from success story like you, how we can copy and how we can replicate these activities here in different settings.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyone other has questions or comments to Stefano? Okay, no, good. So I think we almost there, Stefano. Really, it was a great pleasure to have you. And please, when you are around Tromso, like either in the marathon during the summer or during the Union conference, just drop me a message, and then you are more than welcome to go around and see together the city.
Okay. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure for me also, Tamer, and all of you. And so I remain available if you have other questions or so by email. You have my contacts and just
Yes.
write
And
me.
maybe I can highlight here to our audience. So if any one of you just get a question so far or in their mind, just drop us an email and we will
Yeah.
forward it to Stefano and we'll get back to you by his answer.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
Great, super. So I would like to thank Davida and our colleagues in Solco for this great organization. All the time that you bring something very good, very strong. Thank you very much. And I assume our next presentation will be on the 24th of March from 4 to 5. This will be actually a unique presentation. I will give like 1 hour presentation on how to open abstracts. And this is within the frame of the open science. So actually we are engaged students and people who are working in management, policymaker, for example, who would like to engage with academic environment by sending abstract to conferences. So in during this 1 hour, we will present you how you can write short abstract to summarize your idea, and our colleagues who will attend this talk or this lecture will get an like or free ticket to attend our Clouders Eye conference in Poland. So it will be great to see all of you there. And thank you very much and see you in a week or so.
Ciao.
Bye bye,
Thank
Stefano.
you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye.
Davida.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.